return of capital, it can't just be like billionaires and billionaires and trillionaires now, and multi-hundred billionaires sitting way up there where nobody can even see them, and then all these little young people graduating high school and having no kind of advantage and no kind of opportunity and no kind of access to anything. It can't continue this way, and it's appalling that they can't see that, and they're leaning on these people to try to make them come out more, like they're trying to make them force, like try to squeeze something else out of them that they want to hear to signify like, oh, you're just like we were. They don't have it. It's all been yielded. What hasn't been yielded has been taken away or stolen. They don't have anything left. These people don't have anything left. You know what I mean? They don't have anything left.
But where does that come from? Does it come from the way they grew up or what they're offering?
No, it comes from the extreme capitalization nature of society. How everybody's always squeezing more out of something. Like the thing you see in these stores, you and I know what a candy bar used to cost. You and I know what a Coca-Cola, a 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola and a 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola used to cost. So I mean, they're fitting people in there, all these fucking middlemen and everything, where 15 people are getting planned pension fund and like these fund payments out of a fucking can of Pepsi or Coca-Cola. Now the cost of a 20 ounce is like what, $2.09? That's what we're talking about. And then you got this guy Bloomberg, he comes and says, oh, we're gonna ban these drinks. You know, these people are drinking too many drinks. We used to buy cases of damn sodas and drink them at picnics and stuff like that. Don't tell me these people are drinking too many sodas. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just they're trying to fatten up the pigs on one end and make the lean animals get even leaner.
Hold on. So they said there was a lot of young people, homeless people here living in the park, and they couldn't really connect with Occupy movement. Why is this?
They couldn't what?
Connect with the Occupy people, with the Occupy movement.
Okay, I'm going to try to sort that one out.
Do you think Occupy join and forces with the homeless and other?
Occupy has a definitive message, which is focused and which is loud and which is, like he said, transnational and international. It's a global reality. You know what Occupy is saying. Some of the people who are claiming to be homeless in this park are actually, I'm going to tell it like it is. Some of the people that claim that are actually just drug dealers. They actually have places where they go. They got 2 or 3 girlfriends with NYCHA apartments, or even places in Queens where they have, you know, places where they live with their grandmothers and their aunts and their cousins and all of them, you know. But they don't choose that environment. They come here because it's a free, open, easy environment. A lot of times, people don't realize that they don't have access to that. I know people that say that we don't have access. We can't make money like Whole Foods. We don't have access to whoever you have to see. The whole body of attorneys. Attorneys is a sorority and a fraternity of a certain ethnicity of individuals, and anybody else is like underneath that body of individuals. And all, you know, everybody knows what New York is about. You can't open a Whole Foods or a Shoe Mania or a Citibank. You can't get that stuff. That stuff is owned by Masons and Illuminati and all that type of shit. And then they got their own little lines of order and the statements you make. Everything's got to fit together in a certain fashion. And these people don't have it. So what they're doing is just setting up their own little money system, you know, based on whatever is illegal, whether it be Lucy's or like bootleg alcohol or fucking illegal drugs or whatever. It could be Freon or anything else. You know, they just try to get a slice of money, just like all the old mafiosos did. You know, like a Meyer Lansky or Al Capone, when they came in here and they began the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants used to dominate this area. Okay, when they brought in the Italians in the late 1800s and began to just massage these little people for anything they could get out of the community, and they got tired of it, and they said, well, you know what, we're gonna take alcohol, and they decided to take alcohol, and then they got this guy from the federal government. What's that guy's name? The guy that went against Al Capone with the St. Valentine's Day massacre. The FBI. No, not him. The government guy. The FBI guy who went against Al Capone.
Yeah, they used to have
the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was because they were actually stealing out Capone's trucks. The Italian community had banded together, the fathers of the Italian community had banded together, and they wanted to get some avenue of the money system. They wanted to have some steady source of money coming into their communities rather than just be picked off and used for like the craziest forms of labor, or as like gigolos for these white women, or you having their Italian sisters be used as prostitutes up and down these highways and byways and these avenues and stuff. They got tired of that. They needed some neighborhood concentricity, so they decided they needed a form of income, and they began to lean on like the speakeasies and alcoholic beverages. They said, well, no, we're going to take over alcohol. The Italians had the fire department and the police department. I mean, the Irish had the fire department and the police department locked up, you know, as an ethnicity, and they said, we got to get in here some way, and that's the way they balanced it out. And it wound up with the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, you know, and they had other mafiosos like, what's his name? Mickey, what's the name of the guy who helped the federal government during World War II? They had him in the lockup, and they said, we really need somebody who has access to the South Street, the seaports and everything. And it was all his family and all his community working in the seaport. That was Lucky Luciano. And they got him, and he helped them get, because he had connections both here and in Italy. So he helped them break the whole the Nazis. So he had German spies working in the ports.
So you said Occupy has a global message and nothing to do with the people on the ground like this?
The people on the ground, they're on their own. I mean, the people who used to be in Union Square Park are more like just people who are, they actually put on the same page, but they've decided to take it on not in an antagonistic way. They're kind of like tangoing with the authorities. Certain of the authorities are willing to tango with people like the people who would occupy this park for the sale of illegal drugs or something like that. You understand? Certain authorities are willing, and they got like tourists from Switzerland and France and shit traipsing through here to make sure that everything is safe and secure and there's no explosions or anything of that nature happening. You know, they're willing to watch those cameras and make sure that everything, all types of transactions are legal and binding. You know what I mean? Rather than try to upset the whole apple cart. They're not going antagonistically. They're just dancing with it. But they realize that these people are coming up on an avenue that they don't have. They can't be on the board of Whole Foods or Citibank or Auburn Payne or even Beth Israel. Beth Israel sits above all little stores over there, and those two residential towers right there with pyramids on the top. I mean, look at the whole thing. Everybody can see this thing. It's visible.
Pyramid on the top, right?
Yeah, it's visible what the hell is going on. These people have dominion over all sorts of finances. You know, you can't get anything. You can't get anything. You got to go on the bottom of Whole Foods. You know, I had a guy, there was a Puerto Rican guy, looked like he told me he just graduated from college after about 8 years. I don't know, he did 4 years of liberal arts or something, you know, at taxpayer expense. And so he goes to Whole Foods for a job, thinking he's going to get a big job because they made $25 billion in 2010. Whole Foods made $25 billion with a B in 2010, which is quite high for a retail grocery chain. And he went there thinking he's going to get a piece of that big money, but they have a disciplinary, routine. I mean, you would have to have as many conveniences and things as are in that store. But somebody's got to share in the profit, right? And I guess it's not the workers, because he's saying they don't pay them enough to do all that recycling and stuff. We were giving them off the streets, we're giving them 30 bags of cans and bottles a day. And they said they're not set up to do recycling, so they stopped all that. And they said
don't do recycling up there?
they only do what they sell, which they don't sell. They don't sell Coca-Cola, they don't sell Pepsi, they don't sell Coors Light.
Also, they have somebody there looking at what you bring in there?
Huh?
They have somebody looking in the bottles?
Oh no, the machines are programmed. This is reverse
you
vending.
put a bottle in it.
Right, it reads the UPC code.
And if they don't sell it, it spits the bottle back out again?
No, it'll say this store does not accept that brand.
So then do they give it, are you able to get the bottle back out?
No, focus on the Occupy, please.
Yeah, it won't. The bottle will never go in the machine because you'll get a message.
No, stop bottle thing now. Focus on Occupy, please.
Yeah, Occupy is rightly situated in this park because this was the place where the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. You know, when the fight when they had
Unions, right?
Yeah, right here around Union Square Park, they used to have factories, right, down in Greenwich Village and everything. They used to have factories which manufacture much of the stuff that's made in Guangdong, China now. Okay? Although those products are a little more advanced because of the day and age, but I'm saying like the textile mills and things, and even some of the, electronics and so forth, or electrical machines like fans, and vacuum cleaners. But what I'm saying to you is that this was a place, a Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. Everybody knows Union Square Park. I had an elderly Jewish guy who told me that he came over here recently, within the past year or two. He said he couldn't believe it.
What?
He couldn't believe how different this street looks from 14th Street looks from the days when he came here back in the days like the late 60s. He said all of these places were placed like little bars and speakeasies where you could go in. You could just saunter in there with any kind of clothing on, like dashikis or short pants or sneakers or khakis or whatever, and like sit down and hear poetry reading, or everything was like cheap, and they had discount stores. He told me the whole picture of the street, and he said now he came here, he said any place you go on the street, you got to have cash going in the door, or else the security guard is going to follow behind you and look at you funny or make you feel unwelcome or unwanted. And he said this is not what 14th Street was. He said this is nowhere close. It's not artistic, it's not musical.
It's not a community. It's not community anymore, right? It's different.
There's no connection here, except this is all national retail chains funded with capital market money. Wall Street has decimated New York City because there's a divide between these national retail outlets and everything, which they got counts on this shit. This shit is just like they used to do, like the old Jewish cashiers with the machine. They used to hit the buttons. Only thing is, this is done by Wall Street. They're bringing cash registers on Wall Street based on the number of national retail chains in their portfolio. Like, oh yeah, we got 500 Dwayne Reeds, 300 Rite Aids, 150 Food Emporiums, 4 Whole Foods, 95 Shoemanias. This is the divide now in portfolio business. This is the new cash register. And which stores are doing well and which stores are not doing so well, and what's necessary to upgrade the profit intake and all this kind of